Back in the golden year of 1993, I received a glorious thing. It was a Sega Genesis, which was what I asked Santa for that year. It was sleek, dark, mysterious, and it came with Sonic the Hedgehog. I also had received several games as Christmas gifts that year as well. My older brother wisely got me Mortal Kombat so he could play it on my Genesis. The minute I saw a fatality was the minute I stopped eating ketchup. I also received Fantasia, Krusty's Super Funhouse, and a more obscure title I had never heard of, Cosmic Spacehead. Since I wasn't familiar with the game or the lead character and the cartridge was shaped all funny, I lost interest in it almost immediately. I didn't actually play the game the whole way through until a couple years later when I brought my Genesis and all the games I had to my aunt's lake house. I popped it in, locked myself in the den all day, and beat the damn thing, so when I play it now I'm always flooded with memories of the time I wasted an entire day on vacation playing this game instead of going swimming with my friends. How completely not sad. The game I'm showing here is actually a remake released for DOS, the Amiga, the Game Gear, the Master System, and the Genesis. It was originally called Linus Spacehead's Cosmic Crusade, which was released on the Nintendo, and is also the sequel to Linus Spacehead, which was a game released on a compilation called Quattro Adventure, so I'm actually playing the third iteration here. Imagine the point-and-click adventure game genre and the platforming genre met up for drinks, hooked up, and unexpectedly gave birth to a new genre of video game. That baby would be Cosmic Spacehead, which features inventory-style point-and-click gameplay and platforming levels as a means of traveling between worlds. Yes, this baby was a pleasant surprise, and I promise this will be the only time I will ever compare video games to babies. You play as an alien from the planet Linoleum, who coincidentally has the exact same haircut as Pajama Sam. While traveling outer space, Cosmic Spacehead accidentally crashes into planet Earth, which is an undiscovered planet according to the civilians of Linoleum. However, when you get back there, nobody believes you actually discovered Earth, so the entire object of this game is to get a camera, go out into space, and take pictures of planet Earth to use as proof that it exists so you can be a hero. That is the entire premise of this game. As you can see, the game definitely has a cartoony charm going on, and the music is pretty relaxing as you play through it. It's a little strange to play a point-and-click with a controller, but to be honest, this is one of the better instances of that. There's only 5 actions to choose from, and you can easily scroll through them with one of the buttons on the controller. But I don't think I'll ever get used to moving the arrow around with the joystick. It's a little sluggish, as one can expect. Interactions with other characters and the humor is a little lost on me. I think it's supposed to be humorous, at least in a corny way, but sometimes I can't even tell. You know how sometimes you can't tell when something is meant to be funny, so it ends up being funny anyway because you don't know if it's supposed to be or not? That's Cosmic Spacehead. During your adventures, you will need to illegally acquire a driver's license from a character named Shady Lionel to enter a bumper car race so you can win tickets to the planet Detroitica. Your fake driver's license says you are Larry Flint, which surprised me because this game insists that it's a family game. Right, a family game that promotes gambling, phallic-looking scenery, obtaining and using fake IDs, and posing as Larry Flint. The game must be targeted to very mature families. Very mature. You find items scattered about the planet that will help you get past obstacles like this, and this, and this. Oh, what's this? You can't get over this desperately cold river? That's okay, just put icing sugar on it because icing sugar ices over the river. Icing sugar turns things into ice. Remember that whole not sure if funny thing? Yeah. To travel to different cities around the planet, you need to complete these short little platforming levels. The one and only ability you have as someone named Cosmic Spacehead is your amazing capacity to jump relatively short distances. You have no other powers. You cannot shoot things, you cannot punch things. Your prowess involves running the fuck away from enemies and occasionally jumping over them. I can see why Cosmic Spacehead is not considered the hero of Linoleum here. When Cosmic jumps straight up, it looks like he's concentrating on forming a substantial poo. I'm mature. The difficulty levels are very strange in this game. A lot of the platforming gets a little harder as you go throughout, but then towards the end of the game you'll come across this level where you're traveling through an asteroid field. My gaming instincts tell me to dodge the asteroids. If I've learned anything from media that involves space, it's that asteroid fields are bad and you should proceed with caution. So I'm going along, dodging asteroids, and realize, wow, this is really easy. I could do this forever. Wow, this is a really long level. Right, so as you can see, I can literally go on forever dodging asteroids. I eventually gave in and looked at a walkthrough which told me you have to hit the asteroids to move on. So no matter what your competitive gaming instincts tell you, which is probably to avoid the asteroids, ignore them. I actually have no idea why this level even exists. The next scene involves Cosmic running out of gas and having to stop at a gas station, so I guess they needed a reason to have you bump into the asteroids, but come on, a simple cutscene would have sufficed here. Overall, this is a cute little game. It's an odd hybrid, I admit, but somehow the combination of platformer and point and click really does work. But don't let the charm of the graphics and gameplay throw you off. Despite the overly easy asteroid level I featured before, it does get very challenging in certain parts, namely the platforming areas and some of the last bits of the game as well. There isn't a proper introduction to the story in this game, so that's a little bit of a bummer. I don't have the manual anymore, so I was able to read the game's premise online, but when I was a kid, I was just downright confused. Who am I? Why am I here? What is this thing? What is this thing? How do things? And the ending is insanely lackluster, probably because the story is pretty lackluster. The enjoyment of the gameplay is what makes this entertaining. I feel like the story of Cosmic trying to prove Earth's existence was almost an afterthought. You can basically swap that story with any story and it will play out the same. At least it's not about some unfortunate tragedy that turns Cosmic into a vengeful alien that has no regard for humanity, as that would be relatively cliche, though the misproportioned size of his head is a tragedy all on its own. Another thing I'd like to point out is in the game you have to figure out how to get past this allegedly scary monster who doesn't really seem to be doing any harm but is also as stubborn as a cow who won't get out of the road, so you give him this helium balloon to send him off into space. And he just stays in the air the entire game, just stuck up there. Oh, that is so horrible. I always felt so bad about that. I feel like I need to start an alliance called People Against the Mistreatment of Slightly Annoying Monsters, or PATMOSAM for short. If you're looking for something quirky to spend just a few hours on, give Cosmic Spacehead a try. It's short and sweet and good for a spirit lifter, even though the humor is a little wacky. Like, seriously, Larry Flint? Out of all the names in the world, they went with Larry Flint. Personally, I would have went with Jeff Goldblum, but that's just my personal bias, of course. Or maybe I would have went with Benedict Cumberbatch, but I don't think he was actually around during that time. Hey everyone, you just watched my video on Cosmic Spacehead. I hope it piqued your interest or maybe your memories if this was also a part of your childhood. I have other reviews on my YouTube channel if you want to see them, social network things if you want to say words at me, Patreon campaign, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest, LiveJournal, Zanga, Cloud. I'm just everywhere. It's a little unhealthy. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one.